Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Kate Rose and I'm doing another episode of Kate Drives It, but today we're doing it in my own Mach 1 Mustang. Alright, so we're gonna get started and go on the road and do a little Q&A here in a minute, but first let me give you a formal introduction to Mach. So he is a 2021 Mach 1 Mustang, basically just a fancy 5.0. So I've had him for about 3 years now, currently sitting at around 700 wheel horsepower after I installed a Pro Charger supercharger about 8 months ago. I have gone through a lot of different exhausts on this car, but right now I actually just have the factory mufflers and factory mid-pipe, but I do still have the Stainless Works catted long tube headers. So he definitely sounds a little exotic, but just the way that I like it. So I do have them lowered. I have on the Ford Performance lowering springs, and these are the RTR Tech 7 wheels in gunmetal. I'm running 20 by 10.5 in the rear, 20 by 9.5 in the front. Also have the Mickey Thompsons on, 355R20s. I have ceramic coated everything, did the spoiler, a new steering wheel, and really that's about it. But yeah, I think that covers the basics, so let's get on the road. All right, and here we go. We have to go down the driveway backwards. All right, so I am making my way about 30 minutes east of where I live, like the middle of nowhere. That's where I basically got into cars. You know, I've always been into driving. I used to steal my parents' cars. This is where a lot of that happened, so we're just kind of driving out there. All right, so is Mach my dream car? Mach is 12-year-old Katie, because I used to go by Katie around that time. I think until it actually came to me buying my first car, a Mustang was my dream car. Also, I think maybe in my early 20s, just having like a fully built car was my dream. I didn't know how adding power would look. I always wanted to get a V8 powered car, but I have now, and it's just one of those things that I continue to remind myself how badly I wanted something that I have now. What got me into cars? I've really been into cars for just about as long as I can remember. Got an ambulance coming up behind. Yeah, I've been into cars basically since I maybe have started playing video games, or maybe when the Fast and the Furious movies came out. It was always kind of like a strange thing. Like my mom never understood why I had it. My dad has always liked cars. And he adopted me, I think when I was like 13 or so. We didn't really have any cars back then. It was always just kind of like me pointing out like, ooh, I want that car, ooh, I want that car, and oh, I'm gonna get one of those one day. And it was usually, you know, either the Mustangs, the Chargers, the Camaros. Like I've always just had an eye for cars. And I think that's when my dad realized like, ooh, she has expensive taste in cars. And you know, that is something that has stuck with me my whole life. But building cars, like, it is a journey, and I think I still continue to learn something new every day, and I'm just kind of like pushing myself further and further into it. And you know, I think there are a lot of highs and lows when it comes to the car community, but I think like as I learn more around that, I'm kind of like figuring out what kind of role I want to play within the car community and what kind of value I can bring to others, because I think it is just such an amazing passion, and that's just something I don't ever see me losing. So what was my first car? My very first car was a Camaro. It was a 93 3.4 liter V6. Most of it was junkyard parts that I think I just had put together for me. I would buy like other smaller cars. I bought like a 2002 Mitsubishi Eclipse, Mazda RX-8, first brand new car, which was a 2014 2LT Camaro, and that car and I went through so much together. That leads me to what is my next dream car. So I'm actually actively pursuing my next dream car. I've been doing it a lot more on like TikTok, so I'm kind of excited to talk about it here on the channel, but I've been doing like a lot of like shopping and comparing. Living in Colorado, all-wheel drive is very important, but I think as far as like race car or high performance, high horsepower cars go in the all-wheel drive area, kind of limited. I kind of want to break from the whole Subi gang. I would love a GTR, but it's not really it for me. So I'm actually looking at a BMW M4 competition. I went to one of my local BMW dealerships and I saw this Ruby Star M4 and oh, I fell in love and I cannot stop thinking about it. So that is my next dream car that I'm working on obtaining. I don't think I've been out this way in at least a decade. I'm probably gonna pull off once I arrive in the little town, and then I can kind of jump into the more personal side of things. Oh my gosh, I forgot how terrible these roads are. What a trip. Because I learned how to drive on this road that I'm on right now, and to now be in Mach of all cars. Crazy feeling. I forgot there's nothing but gravel out here. This isn't gonna work. Yep, so that's about as far as I am willing to take Mach out here on this gravel road. If you guys are looking for a Mustang to get destroyed on some dirt roads, this is not the channel. You can go check out Whistling Diesel for all that. As much as I would love to tear up a dirt road, not in Mach. Just maybe 5 or 10 minutes up this dirt road is where I grew up, but yeah, this is it. All right, let's head back into town and hit up the main attraction, the gas station. You know, it was always run down here before, but it's like much worse than it is now. They used to have what I think, I don't know. I might be delusional because I was also a child at the time, but the best pizza. So let's go see what's up in there. Got some lunch, so now doing what I used to do way back in high school. Run to the gas station, grab some lunch, and then back to school. Oh my god, there's a snake in the road. Oh god, I hate snakes. Holy I'm alright, I'm fine. This place is hell. Alright, found this pretty sweet parking for Mach on a basketball court. Alright, not bad. Alright, so we'll kind of post up here for lunch and answer the next question. Actually, I'm gonna eat first. One bite, everyone knows the rules. It could be good. I wish there was more cheese. I like the sauce, but the crust ruins it. 4.3. For dessert, I got this strawberry cream cheese bread, but I don't think we're gonna eat it. Not here, because they're so trash. All right, so back to the questions, and probably my most asked question is, what do I do for a living? So I have a background in banking and financial services. I did that for about 8 years. I have an associate in arts and psychology. I went for marketing for a little bit, and then I switched over into human resources, and it was never my thing. So about 2 years ago, I quit and started working for myself. So I still do a little bit of financial coaching. Right now, I kind of am in the very early startup stages of launching my own clothing brand, which I'm really excited for. I'm really just so fortunate to have this time to really dedicate to figuring out what I'm passionate about and what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. Okay, I'm gonna get up and walk. Didn't really think this through with the beer, so gotta make this disappear so I can drop some gears. Hell yeah, brother. So now we're gonna head over to my high school and do what I've always wanted to do ever since I started going to school here. I went to a school where the elementary, the middle, and the high school are all in the same little area. All right, so sorry, the sunglasses got to stay on for this one. It's pretty bright out. Okay, next, and my probably second most asked question is, have I or would I ever start an OnlyFans? I am a true supporter that women should be able to embrace their sexuality. I am like a pretty private person, so it is kind of already hard for me to be very vulnerable on social media. So I will never start one, but I am very open and very honest around certain things like that, like with my breast augmentation. I did post a video on it. I haven't talked about it on my channel when it comes to cars because I don't think it really relates, but I did make a video just kind of going over it and sharing my experience, because that is something I am passionate about, is being transparent and sharing my experience, what I learn, and just kind of hoping that I can help others as well. But as far as OnlyFans or having like a private subscription website in that sense, not ever going to be me. I wanted to do a burnout. Is this the place for it? It might be. When I was a kid, I always wanted to grow up and learn how to do burnouts, and now I do, and now it's my chance. Traction control isn't turning off. Can I do it with traction control still on? How terrible. Because of the suspension fault. Alright, well, we're gonna try it anyways. One day. I am at least gonna get this bucket list item out of the way. This is where I saw that freaking snake. Make our way back to the mountains. Pete's on my shirt. Dang it. Our next question is, what is your take on mental health? So I think I started my mental health journey about 2 years ago now. It really took me leaving the corporate world to really just kind of like come into myself. I've always been a very motivated and driven individual. I got my first job when I was 14. I had a really strong work ethic, and I always tried to like keep this image up of I had my shit together. Underneath the surface, I just had so much anger and resentment from things that had happened, like when I was a child or even up until a few years ago. Like that just, I felt like held me back in more ways than I can even begin to share. So this has been definitely a journey for me, and like putting in the work for it. I always heard that it was hard and it was a lot of work, but oh yeah, it is a lot of work. But I gave up a lot of fear-based in a lot of different things, as far as like money, being perceived, acceptance from others. Like my appreciation for things are so different than where they were not even like a decade ago, 5 years ago, but maybe even like a year ago. And I am truly appreciative, and that is one thing that I think I've learned, is just to practice gratitude. Just not that many people are fortunate enough to make even the same mistakes that I have made, and I'm just completely focused on reshifting my way of thinking, and I think I just take my time more seriously now. Money can't buy a single second of time. Really letting that sink in, it changes how you live your everyday life. Alright, so I think like a follow-up question for that is, what do you do on days where maybe you're not feeling very motivated? So this really kind of depends on where I'm at, either like mentally or physically, and just like listening to what either my mind or body needs. I think one of the hardest things that I had to learn was that taking days off are good. Like when I was working, I was so proud that I would work 3 years straight and not take a single day of PTO. I just valued my work ethic, and it didn't matter what it cost as far as my mental health, and stopping that and just learning to give myself grace, be gentle with myself, and just let myself be who I need to be. I think there's another side of it too, where on those days where maybe I'm not very motivated, I don't need to be motivated because I'm disciplined. Like, I know I don't feel good if I feel like I'm being lazy. I don't feel good if I'm not respecting my goals, if that makes sense. And that's where I think it kind of turns less into motivation and more into discipline. And I know that will look different for every single human, but for me, that's kind of what it looks like. Alright, so made it back home, back in the mountains. Also changed my shirt since I had pizza sauce on it. This is actually one of the shirts that I tried out making. Not really the design I was hoping for. Yeah, that's one of them. So next question is, what's something that most people wouldn't know about me? And I think for me, I used to get confused as a boy a lot when I was a kid, which most people don't know. I used to wear just nothing but shirts like this, men's basketball shorts, and a shaved head. So next question is, what's coming up next? And I kind of touched a little bit on some future plans as far as the dream car that I'm chasing, a potential clothing line that I'm in the early process of. We are probably moving again soon, possibly. There's a war going on over here. Also, some updates on the cars, which I'll probably talk about in my next video. Probably getting the Porsche 911 that I bought about 6 months ago ready to sell. And in the next immediate future, just giving Mach a bath. But that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Love you. Bye.